Welcome to Nova Careers. We are here today with Rachel, and I'm going to let Rachel introduce herself and tell us what she does. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel. Hi, it's good to see ya. Um, so I am a mom and a wife and a real estate advisor. So I actually have been in this career for a few years now, just under four, I believe, 3 or 4, something like that. Before that, I was a cosmetologist and a stay-at-home mom in between that. And here I am today.
Oh. So when you say real estate advisor, what is that?
So
What does that
I
mean?
help people buy and sell homes and strategically advise on kind of the best move for them, whether it be now or it be 3 years down the road.
Okay. So is it different than like a realtor that we run into?
It's not really any different because I still, per regulations and things like that, and being part of the NAR Association, which is the National Association of Realtors, I am still a realtor, but I like to call myself a real estate advisor just because I do more than open a few doors and get people some contracts. And so I like to say that I'm an advisor because I really truly go, beginning to end and go through the whole process. And then even afterwards, I'm still a resource.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. So your job is more than just
Yeah, I focus
having.
on relationships more than I focus on, you know, pushing a sale or doing a transaction because that's going to come and that's what I do, in and out every single day. But what matters in the longevity of the career and, who you are as a person and who you attract, who you work with, that's going to come down to your relationship with them and your relationship with people. And that's what really matters.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that I like the way that you said that and how you look at it, and that relationship key is important.
Yeah.
So, so you said your day to day, what do you do? What does your normal day look like?
My normal day, so being a mom, I usually will get up with the kids, get some breakfast going, and then my oldest son is in kindergarten, so I'll drop him off at school. Then after drop off, I'll come into the office, and that's kind of like my work hours is kind of that in between drop off and pick up. So whether that be, working in the office, kind of doing admin type things or searches, phone calls, whatever that needs to be done as far as that goes, showings, inspections, walkthroughs, all the fun stuff. So
Okay.
then
So you generally do you start your day going to the office and then you go from
generally,
there?
yeah, and I have the flexibility. I can work from home, I can work from my car, I can work from anywhere, which is nice because there's times where I'm not close to the office, and so I do have to work from home, or like tomorrow I'll work mostly from home just because I'll be over on that side of town all day versus on a different side of town. So I have a nice flexibility to it, and I'm able to still be a mom and be a real estate advisor as well.
Gotcha. And so, and part of your job would be to then, if you're not in the office, you said showing homes. So you
Hmm.
are the person who goes and
Yeah.
takes people around to look at different homes.
Hmm. Yeah, showing
Okay. And
homes,
then,
inspections, walkthroughs, whether it's like with a contractor because they want to do some work, or it's a walkthrough prior to closing on a home, whatever that looks like. There's a lot. It sounds like general, but there's a lot that goes into it just in the day to day as
okay.
well. Because you're also
Okay.
arranging inspections and arranging, hey, I need a plumber over here at this address and that address, and just really kind of micromanaging a lot of aspects too.
Okay. So what would be an incident where you would need to have a plumber come over? Like what is, I'm
I've
just
had
trying to think through that.
inspections where the inspector pointed out, because the inspection is going to be a general inspection. And so they'll
Okay.
kind of go through the home and figure out, what's not up to code, what is a red flag, things like that. And then some homes have old piping. Like I had a home that had old cast iron piping. And so obviously that's going to be a plumbing. And so that's something that you then would negotiate to either you replace or get fixed or whatever is going to be suggested. So that's kind of what the inspection
Okay.
does is they call out anything that needs to be addressed or fixed. And that doesn't mean you fix it all. It means
Mhm.
you kind of pick and choose priority wise, I don't want a plumbing issue, so let's focus on that or the AC or things like that.
Gotcha. So, for instance, if someone was buying a house and you are having it inspected and they run into that issue, like the plumbing is outdated or
Hmm.
whatever, that's when you, as the, I'm going to say, real estate advisor, would call in a plumber and say, hey, we need to look at this
Yeah.
so that we can move forward.
Yep, absolutely. And that's where I come in as like a negotiator and advisor on their behalf as well of, you know, you can take the home in the whatever condition you're happy taking it in, but these are the things that I do
Mm.
advise. And so that's where you
Gotcha.
always call in extra experts or people who, because like I said, an inspector is going to be kind of that general opinion. So anything past that, it's
Hmm.
good to call in a further expert as well.
Okay. Um, so it's not just what we normally see. It's not like you're just going from house to house and showing
No.
people. You're doing a lot more
Yes.
things.
The showings are the fun part, of course, but there's a lot more to it than that. And there's a lot of different avenues you can take too. Like I have someone that I work with who does a lot of just meeting people because he's a very friendly guy and he picks up clients by just talking to them day in and day out and just meeting people. And I really focus myself on social media and I've gotten clients from social media and that I've relocated and things like that that I've kind of used as a way to bring in business for myself as well.
Is it hard to get business? Is there a lot of competition out there? Do you find that hard?
Yes and no. The hard part is kind of with any job, what you put in is what you're going to get out of it. And so this is a
Mhm.
job where you really truly have to run it like a business. It's not just a job. You have to get up and show up every day. And the days that you don't put any work into it, you're probably not going to get anything out of it because it's not a passive job at all. You truly have to get
Mhm.
up and put yourself into it. And that was something that I knew going into it because I knew kind of how it worked, but it absolutely was something that I was like, oh, being between going back to doing hair or doing something else, I really had to decide what's going to be best for my family. And that came down to either way, I'm going to have to rebuild my business because when I did hair in Arizona before, I had a clientele, got married, and my husband was in the army, so we moved away. And I gave up my clientele when I did that. And so coming back and having to rebuild that, I knew I'd have to start from scratch anyway. And so I
Right.
wanted to make a decision based on what's going to give me the most flexibility with my family and still provide income.
Mhm. So, and when you say, uh, well, I guess I'm thinking like you need to work it like a business because you don't have to show up. The company that you work for, they don't require you to be there from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, or
Right,
something like that.
exactly.
Correct?
Exactly. Like I said, I could work from home, I could work from my car, or I can, take a day off and not work and not look at my phone, not check my emails. But again, the same type of thing of whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So if you are expecting people to just naturally come to you, it's not going to happen. And it's a job that you have to really seek out and not necessarily like, hey, do you want to buy a house? It's a more of a I'm here. Let me be that
Mm.
resource. Again, be that resource for you of whenever you're ready. There's never any rush or pressure. It's a big decision to make this. And so let me
Right.
guide you through that when it's time. And if it's not time, I'm a resource for you. I can answer your questions still.
You're there to
Yeah,
help regardless.
absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you really have to kind of be a self-starter or be
Yeah.
motivated in order to do
Yeah,
this and be successful. I
absolutely.
mean, you could sit back and do
Hmm.
nothing, but you're not going to get
Yeah.
anything
Hmm.
out of it in
And
return.
it's important too, I think, because you can start by yourself too, but I think it's important if you're going to do this career to start with a team or someone who can really mentor you and coach you through it because you're going to run into things that you're like, school didn't teach me this. What do I do? And so kind of anything with real life, even when I was doing hair, I was taught how to do haircuts. I wasn't always taught how to
Right.
converse with people or how just kind of the everyday aspects of life that come into working. School doesn't teach you that.
Right.
And so it's really good to have someone who can mentor you and really take you under their wing and teach you what is important and how to run it as a business too. Not just this is my job, this is what I do, but this is my job, this is my business, this is what I'm building.
Gotcha. And you do work underneath a
Hmm.
team,
Yes, I do.
correct? Okay.
Yeah.
And what does that look like? Like how does working under the team? I know you explained a little bit that you have some mentors
Hmm.
and stuff, but are there certain expectations for you?
There definitely are, and I think team to team, it's all going to be different. My team, we really focus on being more full time. We all are in this every day. And then as far as
Mhm.
expectations, the expectation is just that you show up and you track what you're doing and track, your activities and what you're doing to kind of continue to produce and to um, what areas are you struggling? Let me hear that from you and let me teach you and let me guide you through this or let's sit down and figure this out together. Is very much our team mentality too. And that helps a lot too. And because we have an office too where we all come to, so we can, if we're all in here, we're all bouncing ideas off each other. And hey, did you hear about this or that? You want to come help me with this showing or that showing? Or, it's a good environment to have a team that you can fall back on because at one point some point you're going to want to take a vacation too. So
Right.
and business doesn't stop just because you go on vacation, and so it's good to have those people behind you too that you can kind of train and teach to do what you do and how you do it, and you're all kind of doing it the same way. Then that way it's a good system and process to have in place. That way when you do go on vacation your business doesn't suffer.
That makes
Hmm.
sense. Yeah, definitely. Definitely good to have a
Hmm.
team and then to be able to bounce those ideas off of and such or issues if issues
Hmm.
arise and you can all discuss them together.
Absolutely.
That's nice. Did you need a degree
No
to
degree.
do this?
You do need
Okay.
licensing. It's a state by state licensing. So I'm
Mhm.
licensed in Arizona. You can be licensed in multiple states, but it's state by state.
Okay. So and then what does that licensing or schooling look like? Like how long does that take generally or is it kind of
It's
self-paced?
either or. So I did it self-paced. I did all online when we actually were still
Okay.
living in the South when my husband was still in the Army. And I started it online, and it took me about 9 months, I believe, to get done. So I started it and we found out I was pregnant with my daughter. And so kind of slowed down when that happened. And then after she was born, I finished it up and got my license right away. But you can
Okay.
also go in person to classes, and I believe it's about like 2 months. I think it's pretty quick. If you go full time to school, you can get it done pretty quick. It might be less than that. I don't fully remember. I just did it online, so mine was as quick as you want or as slow as you want.
Okay. All right. So that's the
Hmm.
path generally is to go online and
Yes.
get that
Yes.
licensing.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you'll do a state
What did you
test.
learn
I'm
during?
sorry.
Okay. What were they teaching you at that point?
Um, so
I mean, what has
you'll
been
go through like the Arizona State licensing book, and it's got several chapters that's going to teach you a lot of the legality of things. It's not going to teach you how to do a showing. That's something you kind of learn, but it teaches you the legalities, it teaches you contracts. Those are the things that are super important to know because Arizona is a title state as well. So some states are not title states, some states are attorney states. And so that's when attorneys will get involved and do more of those legal documents. In Arizona, I'm able to write up all those legal documents and send them to my clients. So it's important that you understand those and understand, what's in a purchase contract and what's in a buyer broker agreement and all of those things that matters because if you can't explain that, you don't know your job.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Gotcha. And then, like you said, those are very much, each state has their individual
Yes.
rules or
Yeah,
regulations.
absolutely.
Okay. What would you say is your favorite part of the job?
The people. It's been really fun. I've met so many just great people that I love. Like I have a client that I sold a home last year and we still keep in touch often. Most of my clients I still keep in touch with and we'll go get lunch or because you get so close to people too while you're going through this process and then, I miss them when it's over. I'm so social. And so it's really fun. And like I said, the relationship is so important to me because I'm like, I know you're in a home and we're done, but we can still go get lunch or go get coffee. At
Right.
this point, I'm like, we're friends. We're not, just colleagues or anything anymore. We're friends at this point.
Right. You've
Yeah,
developed that relationship.
yeah.
And probably, I mean, I don't know. What would you be able to even say, like how long generally you spend with clients, like from start to them purchasing that house? So how long you've developed that
I
relationship?
would say at least 6 months. Sometimes it's less, but I would say typically on average it's probably at least 6 months. And then sometimes if it's someone that you maybe met at an open house or someone you met from like a phone call, sometimes that can take upwards of a year and a half to 2 years or more. And so, because I have some
Oh,
clients
wow.
that, we haven't purchased anything, but we've been talking about it and we've been working through hard questions and, they're trying to figure out where they want to live, where they want to be. And so we'll go get lunch in this location or that neighborhood and kind of just really hone in on where they feel comfortable and where they want to set down some roots.
Mm-mm. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Gotta
Hmm.
explore the neighborhood so that they can get a better idea if they like the
Hmm.
surrounding area and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, that makes sense for sure. What's one thing that would surprise people or people don't know about a career as a real estate advisor?
Um, I'm trying. That's a hard one. Probably, I think people know that it's very taxing and you can get burned out pretty easy because it is like picking a business up and building it. Um, but I will say we had pretty realistic expectations going into it, but it is a lot more involved, and my phone is like glued to my hand, basically. And so we knew that going into it, but I think being in it, it truly has been and I've had to learn, my own boundaries of, okay, it's 10 o'clock at night. If it's
Mm-hmm.
an emergency, I'll know, but I also need to be able to
Right.
put my phone down and spend time with my family. And it's important to learn to have those boundaries too, and not just to be like, these are my work hours, because I don't do that. I work all day, every day. If you need me at 8:30 and it's emergency, I'll be there. But at the same time, like, part of that relationship is building that respect too between both you and your clients of having that respect between each other as well. And as long I always tell my clients, I'm like, if I don't get back with you right away, I will as soon as possible. I'm usually if I don't, it's because I'm with my kids or I'm with a client typically, and everybody's very understanding about that. And so I think just
Yeah.
it was a lot more involved than we initially even really expected because we were pretty realistic, like I said, but
Mm.
still, it was a lot more like, okay. And getting started too, you really have to put that effort in. I was doing open houses almost every day of the week, trying to get clients and meet people and, get back out there and build a business. And so there's ways to do it. And even from when I started, the whole market and the business has even shifted from when I started because it's a fast-paced
Mhm.
changing industry. And so it's important to keep up with that too.
Yeah, that makes that makes sense. For sure, it changes
Yes.
constantly, so you have to keep up with that. So would so you're saying, like you had said earlier, it's flexible. So it's flexible that you necessarily don't need to be
Hmm.
somewhere at a certain time unless you have a
Right.
showing or, different things. But if you needed to take time off to go to a kiddo's game or function or something like that, you're able to
Hmm.
do that, but you spend a lot, or you have your phone
Yeah.
near you at all
Yep.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is longish hours, but you're not sitting in an office away from your
Correct.
family
Yeah. I could
necessarily.
work, if my son had like a karate meet or something like that, I could definitely go there. And if I needed to take a quick phone call or do some text messages that were business related, it would be totally fine.
Definitely sounds like it's important to have
Yes.
boundaries and so that you're not, well, and boundaries, not necessarily just boundaries, but also give yourself like allow yourself to take some time
Hmm.
off because I know with my work that I could just
Yeah.
sit at the computer constantly, but it's
Yes.
important to step away and
Yes.
engage with
Yes. It's
family.
good to have that
So,
balance. I was taught from the beginning because of who my mentor is, was just really nailing down like your calendar of your everyday of if it, if you're do whatever you're doing needs to go in your calendar. That's how you're going to have
mhm,
that balance. Because if you don't do that, you're going to start just overspending yourself because you have to have that balance of,
gotcha.
my son has this at 3 o'clock, so I have to be done by, 2 so I can get in. It's just, it feels like a lot, especially if you're not that type of person who can do that or it comes naturally to you. But
Mhm.
it is a lifesaver and it allows you to have that
Yeah.
balance. Like we were able to go to Legoland last year, take the boys, and I was able to I think I brought my laptop just in
That is one.
case, but for the most part, I was able to really take the time off and enjoy and be with family because I knew things here were handled.
Oh, that's
Hmm.
yeah, that's good. So that it does sound like having that mentor and having a
Hmm.
team that understands that family is important is an important aspect of that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What kind of a person would this be like a good career path for? What are some of the, I guess, skills
You have to
maybe
like people.
that you would say,
You have to a
okay, a
people
people
person.
person?
And I think just someone who you don't necessarily have to be a go-getter because I'm not really like a go-getter myself type of person, but like I said, I am social and I am relational. And so I think that's where that comes down. And there's so many different types of realtors and advisors and just I've met tons of different type of people in this career too, and I think it really could be for anybody. But again, to succeed, you have to have those systems and processes in place because if you don't, you're just going to be burning yourself out very quickly. And so I think just
Yeah,
definitely someone who likes people and someone who is able to really kind of, I don't know what the right word is, but kind of buckle down and take the time to build that.
right. You have to be able to, even if you don't have to work at 9 to 5 necessarily, go into the office, you're
Yeah.
still going to need to put in that
Hmm.
time.
Yeah. I used to work from
Yeah.
home almost every day, and it got to a point where I couldn't do that anymore because when the kids know I'm home, I don't work. And so it was hard for me to work from home. And so I started I have to go into the office and kind of treat it like that. And so it helps to have that routine. Of course, it's as flexible as you need it to be. If I need to take the day and go get groceries or do doctor appointments or things like that, I can absolutely do that. But for myself too, I know myself enough to know I like routine and I like doing that and it helps me
Yeah.
and it helps me stay focused on what I need to do.
And kiddos always
Yeah,
want mom.
always want
It doesn't
mom.
matter if dad's around.
Dad's the fun guy,
Yeah.
but they
They always
always
want
want
mom.
mom. And so that's always a hard one too, because they just know you're there. They always come and open the door, and sometimes they'll sit with you while you work, but usually they want to touch everything, and then then it's over.
Yeah. Are there any like free tools or free, I don't know, like a website or something where you could start learning if you're in high school, where you could start learning about real estate or anything like that?
I mean,
Do you know?
anything on YouTube, honestly. There's tons of YouTube stuff where you can
Okay.
get education, learn things. But also, if you're truly interested, I'd say find someone that you maybe could shadow for the day and kind of really see what that looks like and just kind of tag along and see what that day in and day out looks like and if that's something that you'd be interested in doing.
Yeah. That's great advice, especially because you said it's not just about
Yeah.
showing houses. It's not just about the fun
Yeah.
part. So if you find a mentor that you can
Hmm.
shadow, that's great
Yeah.
advice.
It's fun.
So, all right, we have some more fun questions, I guess. What was your first
I worked
job?
at Hollister in PV Mall, which is not there anymore. I know. I was there the other day and I was like, wow, my first job was here and it's not there anymore.
It was there. Now they're
Yes.
rebuilding it though,
Yeah.
that area.
Yeah.
It
It
looks
does.
completely different.
You can't even tell a mall was there. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, and I guess one of my questions is always, is this a office, remote, or hybrid? And it kind of sounds like this must be
Hmm.
hybrid, but it could be
Yeah.
kind of
And
whatever.
there's a lot of different avenues even you can take within real estate, I would say too, because um I do it obviously on a team. I do resale and new builds. You could even be a rep in a new build office with a builder. And that's going to put you more in that office aspect if that's something you're interested in, because you would be zoned to a specific new build community with a builder. So there's like, and there's commercial real estate, there's a ton of other different aspects too. This is the avenue that I chose. I believe commercial is more of that 9 to 5 feel to it, but I don't do commercial, so I don't know the ins and outs of it. But I know that from the research that I did when I first started, is that was kind of the route that that would typically go.
That made me think of a question that I wanted to ask you earlier. Do you just sell, or do you sell? I mean, do you just help people purchase a house, or do you sell
I do
houses as
both. I
well?
do purchases and sell. I do
Okay.
rentals. Kind of do it all in the realm of residential. So like I've had
Okay.
clients who are like, "No, we're just not quite ready to buy, but can you help us find a rental?" And we can do that too. We can do lots of things. I have clients who outgrew their home, so they need to sell their current home and buy a new one at the same time, which I know is scary to a lot of people, but it's not a scary process, and that's what I'm there for, is to help walk you through that process and make it not scary and make it flow together
Okay.
seamlessly.
Hold our
Yes.
hands when we're in
Yes.
there. All right. So, what's one career you wouldn't want to do? What's
I
one
don't
job?
think I'd want to be like a foot doctor because I hate feet, and that is not something I would want to do because I couldn't do it. Yucky.
That's funny. Yeah, that totally makes sense. I'm always like, doctor, blood.
Mm-hmm.
I can do blood okay, but I don't want to deal with that stuff on a daily
No,
basis. Those are
me
special
neither.
people, those who are called
Yes.
to do those sorts of
Yes.
jobs. So, and then what's one piece of advice you would give your teenage self?
I think just to not be scared to try new things and to just go, kind of go for it, especially since I made that switch from cosmetology to real estate. And it wasn't scary per se, but it was really definitely, it was scary just because I had to start over. But I think looking back, there's just nothing else that I would do differently. And I definitely wouldn't do anything else, and I wouldn't change that at all. But I think definitely just, if you have an idea and you want to do it, do it. And if it doesn't work out, do something else.
Right. It doesn't have to be uh, a decision that you're gonna, even careers, it's like it's you don't have to make that decision where it's going to be what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That's not reality, and no one really does
Yes,
that.
exactly.
So I
Yeah.
think we have to find that one
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah. And we don't,
So
and it can
that's
switch
great
things up
advice.
too. It's good to switch it up.
We might
Sometimes
have
it's
to have you
fun.
back on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, might have to have you
Oh,
back on here to talk about your
okay. Yeah,
cosmetology
that was fun. I loved
career
it.
as well.
I really loved it. It just got to a point where it just didn't make sense for us. And now when I do hair, I'll still do like my mom's hair, but my body and my hands, they just hurt so bad. And so I think my body even, because I did hair for 10
It
years.
does take
And
a
so it
toll.
got to a point where I was like, when I
Mm.
took a break, I couldn't do it anymore. But it's fun though. I did
Yeah,
enjoy it.
your body was out of
Yes,
practice.
very much so. Very much so.
Well, I want to thank you, Rachel, for being on here and talking about your new career. Well, new-ish. I mean, you've been doing it for a while, but what you did after the cosmetology as a global real estate advisor. And I just want to say, if anybody's interested in buying or selling a residential home in the Phoenix area, do you just do
I do it all.
West Phoenix or
I do it all.
anywhere?
Yep.
Okay, in the Phoenix area. I will leave Rachel's information below this video too, so that you can
Thank
reach
you.
out to her. So thank you for
Thank you
being
so much
on
for having me. I
Motherhood.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you. You
have
too.
a great day.